Sports on Tap Detroit, brought to you by the Realtors of the Joe Wright Group, Jason Stiltner of Flagstar Bank, Aldman Entertainment.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
We are tonight's entertainment.
We're here to fuck shit up.
Sports the way it should be. Nothing sugar-coated, we're loaded with all the information you wanted. From legends to prospects, nothing's off limits. Chris and Joe be taking on all topics with no stopping. They keep it rolling and going and ball hopping at a rate that's hard stopping with news that's jaw dropping. They're getting it in. Sports Center competition, man, they in it to win. This ain't a fluke, from Carolina to Duke, from MSU to Michigan. You'll know if you listening, if you ain't, you missing it. All the excitement, they shock like a thundercloud and live with lightning. Get it together, you know ain't nobody better. Bring heat than cold weather. You better put on a sweater, you better just let it go and all come and attack. Sit back, relax, let's tell them it's on tap.
We'll do it live. Fuck it.
You know what really grinds my gears?
There's a lot of things, but I mean, those generally come out during the episode, so we'll save that for whenever that does come out. However, welcome to episode 146 of Sports on Tap Detroit, alongside Joe Waddell. I'm Chris Scott. Joe, how are we?
I'm good.
Yeah,
I'm good.
Yeah,
yeah.
Well, that's good. Took our like obligatory.
I'm fine.
You're fine.
Everything's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine. Everything's fine.
It's like that. It's like that meme. That dog
Yeah.
meme. where, this is fine. Everything's fine.
It's fine. Everything's fine.
Well, that's good. I'm happy to hear that.
Yep.
Obviously, we took the week off last week because again, it's summertime, so we tend to do that because there's not a lot of shit that goes on during the late spring, summertime. So that's probably the way it's going to be until at least August, till we start getting some NFL stuff going on and whatnot.
Yep.
Yeah. So, anyways, with that being said, I figure we should just hop right into it. We want to start with Stanley Cup.
Sure.
Okay.
Let's do it.
So, Stanley Cup Finals started this past weekend. I think the two best teams are ultimately there in Edmonton and Florida. One cool thing I saw that they did before Game 1, and they haven't done this in roughly 60 years, was before the game started, they decided to have the Stanley Cup on the ice before the start of the game. And, of course, hockey traditionalists and purists had a fit about it. And I tend to consider myself a hockey purist.
I was going to say, isn't that you?
That's kind of where I'm going with this. It's like I tend to consider myself a hockey purist. I loved it. I thought it was a fantastic idea because the whole point of this, the Stanley Cup is the star of the show, period. It's the best trophy in sports. I will die on that hill. Anybody that wants to argue with me can. That's fine. It's the hardest trophy in sports to win. And frankly, it's just a beautiful trophy. But I love that they brought it on the ice before the game started, just to show everybody, like, this is what it's about. This is what you're playing for. And then they took it was on the ice for a few minutes, and then they took it away, out of sight, out of mind. I don't have any problem with that. Now, if they left it like in the building where you could like see it during the game, that I would have had a problem with. That's like, all right, that's too much. Just have a glimpse of it. Okay, you see it. This is what you're playing for. Cool. And now it goes away till somebody wins it. I was fine with that. I thought it was a genius move by the NHL, and we all know the NHL is full of genius moves. So I thought they got this one right.
Yeah. I mean, I don't have a problem with it. It's something I've never seen, obviously, because like you said, it hasn't been done in
It's been a long time.
long time. But
Yep.
I mean, I don't have a problem with it. Show them what they're playing for.
Yeah.
You didn't let anybody go up and touch it, or
Oh, the
nobody-
players were terrified of it.
right.
They were like, nope.
Like
Nope.
you're not gonna do that. That's the superstition is you don't touch it until you win it. But
Nope.
at least if you're a player, right?
Yes.
No, I don't personally have a problem with it. I think anybody that did is probably old man yelling at kids to get off their lawn.
Yes.
You know
That
what I mean?
can be fun
Like,
sometimes.
I mean, don't get me wrong, it kind of is. It can be kind of fun. I sometimes am old man yelling at kids to get off the lawn, but figuratively, I've never actually yelled at a kid to get off my lawn. But those days are coming.
Oh, I have no doubt about that.
It'll probably be my own kid.
Right.
Get off the lawn.
Yeah, right. We've talked about that though previously, just how like I guess now protective of our lawns we're starting to get, which
It's odd.
I hate it so much, but it's a thing. It really
yeah,
is.
there's days where I despise myself, actually.
Yeah. Like sometimes I'll just cut the grass and I'll see like a little patch or something. I'm like, son of a bitch.
God damn it.
Yeah, and it's just like gotta go fix it.
Now I
figure
gotta
it out.
go get the lawnmower back out. I
Yeah.
screwed up.
But anyway,
The key is to be so meticulous you don't miss that patch.
right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to get better.
You're right.
Be better, do better.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. I think that's solid words to live by. So with Edmonton being in the Stanley Cup final, there's been this. I tend to listen to a lot of hockey podcasts and sports radio out of Canada, and this has been a big thing amongst hockey fans in Canada, where with the Oilers being in the final, is this now Canada's team? And I look at this simply as, no, it isn't.
Well, apparently it's Dennis Menard's team because
But Dennis is an Oilers fan.
he said my Oilers can't score.
Yeah, he's an Oilers fan, and I understand that. And I like the Oilers.
Wait a second.
too.
Is he the Frank Dragata of hockey?
He likes three teams. He likes the
Buffalo.
Wings, Buffalo, and Edmonton.
Okay, so he's the Frank Dragata of hockey.
Yeah, I mean, suppose you could You could frame it that way, yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
But
Multiple teams.
yes, he is an Oilers fan. But first and foremost, he's a Red Wings fan. Pure.
Which comes which is number 2? Is it Buffalo number
I believe
2?
it's Edmonton.
Edmonton's number 2.
I believe so. Dennis, you can correct me on that if I'm wrong. He's like, you guys know me well. Yes, we do. So, as I was saying, is this now Canada's team since they haven't won a Stanley Cup since 1993? And I frankly say no, it isn't. And I say that because there is no fan base in Canada that wants another Canadian team to end that Stanley Cup drought. They just don't. It's just there's no way.
He said
Sabres.
Sabres are his number 2.
Fair enough. All right, so I got to flip flop. Anyways.
And in Dennis's words, Pat LaFontaine, baby.
Oh yeah, that sweet. He's got a sweet LaFontaine Sabres jersey.
Yep.
So I look at it in that regard is that there's no fan base in Canada out of the 7 teams. 6 of them, they don't want another Canadian team to end that Stanley Cup drought before their team does.
Right.
Which I get. And I sort of compare it to, I'll just take Michigan, for instance, right? In the Big Ten. Like,
no, I'm not rooting for everybody else in the Big Ten.
exactly. Like during
No.
bowl games or the NCAA tournament. Like,
No.
I don't care if they go fucking 0-4. I don't give a shit.
No.
I'm rooting for Michigan. That's it.
Yeah, I'm not rooting for Ohio State.
I'm not rooting
or
for Ohio
Michigan
State or Penn State.
Iowa.
No,
or
I'm not rooting
Penn
for.
State.
I don't
No.
give a shit in bowl games, especially because, as we've said numerous times, bowl games are glorified exhibitions. I don't give a fuck. I really couldn't.
Bowl games at this point in
This should just not
in
exist.
college are not like they should be non-existent.
Yeah.
Other than the ones that are in the playoffs.
Exactly. So that's how I kind of look at this Oilers thing. Like, I'm sorry, I'm not going to root for your team just because you play in Canada. If I'm a Canadian, I'm not doing that.
Right.
And it's the same way I look at the Big Ten in bowl games and the NCAA tournament. Like, I don't give a shit. If we say there's 8 Big Ten teams that go to bowl games,
Yeah.
if 7 of them lose and Michigan wins, great. I'm fine with that. Same thing with the tournament. If they all
Yep.
lose and Michigan advances, keeps going, cool. I'm down with that.
I don't give 2 shits.
Yeah, but other than that, I'm like, but it's the Big Ten. I don't care.
Yeah, what does it
Like,
matter?
what does that?
What does that matter?
What does the Big Ten? You say you're a fan of Michigan. What does the Big Ten doing well do for you? It doesn't do anything. So I've heard that argument, for years. I've always found it laughable.
Yeah,
It doesn't make any sense to me.
I never understood that one either. Because if you actually are a fan of one of those schools, that'd be like Detroit. That'd be like the Lions not making the playoffs and going, well, now I'm rooting for Green Bay because
Right.
they play in the same division.
Exactly. It's silly.
It's dumb. It's absolutely dumb.
Oh, Dennis says it makes your in quotes.
He put
it
in
makes
quotes.
it makes your conference look tougher. Yeah, and that's the argument that they have. Oh, it makes our conference look better. Like, I don't care.
He also just put a face rolling its eyes. So
Exactly. Like, I don't care if it makes the conference look better. It doesn't matter to me.
it's stupid to me. It'd be like me at the end of the year, like, oh, the Browns didn't make the playoffs. Well, I guess I'm rooting for Pittsburgh because they're in the same division.
Right.
That's dumb.
That is
no,
incredible.
Fuck Pittsburgh. Fuck Baltimore.
Right.
Fuck Cincinnati. No, absolutely. And I'm not rooting for the other teams in the division.
No,
I'm not rooting for the other teams in the conference. It's not happening. It's if you're actually a fan of a team in a conference in a division, you're absolutely not rooting for the other teams.
No.
Because you dislike them if you're actually a fan of one of the teams. Actually a fan.
I've always
Like true rooted. There's different levels of fandom, okay? But I never understood the fan base that went, I root for Michigan other than, I root for Michigan all the time. But I also root for Michigan State if they're not playing Michigan. What?
why?
Then do you actually give a shit about either one of them?
No, you're just riding the fence on that one. You're hedging your bet.
You're just like, I like the name of the state I live in. Woo! Like that's, I mean, what are you root for Central Michigan and fucking Western too? I like the name Michigan because I live in the state. I'm rooting for every team with the word Michigan in it.
Like during the Big Ten hockey season, me and Shawnee B would go back and forth on Twitter about Michigan State and Michigan.
Yeah.
And I told him, I was like, I'm never going to root for Michigan State. He's a big state slappy. That's
yeah.
fine. I don't have an issue with that.
He's one of the only state slappies I actually
Right.
like as a person.
Exactly. And we go back and forth, and I told him, I was like, I'm never going to root for State, but I am happy to see that the rivalry is back. Like, both programs are good, and I'm happy about that. It makes for good games.
I'm happy about that.
I'm happy about that. So when during this past season when State beat Michigan, I believe it was in the Big Ten playoffs. He posted Michigan State's head coach and just left it there. It's like, oh, that's cute. So when Michigan beat Michigan State in the national tournament, I posted Michigan's head coach and just tagged him in it. But we both got to laugh at it. But neither one of us are going to say, well, Michigan State's out, I'm going to root for Michigan.
Right.
Or, Michigan's out, I'm going to root for Michigan State.
Not a chance in
That's
hell.
not going to happen.
Not a chance in
That's
hell.
not going to happen. So we had a little bit of fun with that.
That's
but
one of the dumbest things I've ever
It's
heard.
so stupid. But so yes, those are my thoughts on it. Like, I'm sorry, Edmonton, you're not Canada's team. You're not. Like,
I mean, if you
first of all,
want to say they're the team representing the nation of Canada right now, they're the only team in the finals
there
that
you go.
is a Canadian team.
Right.
So yes, in a way, they represent Canada. But as a fan base, rooting wise, you don't.
well, shit. Can you imagine like a Calgary Flames fan rooting for the Oilers? Like, that's just you use your fan card for that. Like,
Yeah,
come on,
no,
what are we doing here?
That's not happening.
That's no good. It'd be like if, say, the Leafs made it to the final. You think the rest of Canada is going to root for the Maple Leafs? Are you fucking kidding me?
No.
I guarantee you the majority of the country would root against the Maple Leafs. 100%.
Absolutely.
So, I don't know. It just makes me laugh how they were talking about it. And it was like a serious debate on this. I'm like, no, this is simple for me. It's like, it's not your team. So you definitely don't want another Canadian team to end this drought.
There should be no debate.
No, I agree. But, anyways, so we had another time that we wanted to hit on, and it's kind of when we had during football season, especially kind of in the middle of it when things kind of got to what they were going to be during the season. You kind of saw what everything was and how teams were going to be and things like that. And I think we're starting to get to that point in the MLB season where. Is this the worst MLB product we've ever seen? And I'm starting to think it is. Like, as of, I believe, yesterday, and I heard the stat, and I could be wrong on this, but as of now, I believe there's only 10 teams in Major League Baseball that are at or above 500. That, to me, is an absolute disgrace.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. That's pretty bad.
That's an absolute joke. But the problem with this is that these teams that are below 500, I would say all but a handful of them, still have a shot to make the playoffs because they're within 3 games of the third wild card spot or a wild card spot. It's just okay, I understand why you added the third wild card. I get it because you want fan bases to not give up on the season and be engaged till at least September anyway. And I understand that, and it's all well and good. However, it's just bad baseball. It really is, and it's kind of what we talked about with the NFL last year. It was that was really bad football. There was a lot of really bad football teams, and this year
it was bad, and I agree with you here. I mean, there are let's see, one
the
two,
fact that
three,
Joey
four,
Gallo is a
five,
Major League
6,
Baseball player
7.
with a 161 fucking average is an absolute disgrace.
There are 14 teams that have a team batting average in the 230s.
Yeah, I 100% believe that.
That is wow.
Yeah, it's a joke. And I think the biggest proponent of this is why this has happened is launch angle.
Oh, they're constantly swinging for the fences.
They're constantly swinging for the fences because some analytics dork said, "Oh, hitting it in the air is more beneficial than just putting the ball in play anywhere." Well, is it?
Well, we've kind of seen it's not.
Is it? So you'd rather have these guys striking out, 250 times a year than actually putting the ball in play and making defenders actually make a play on you? That's more beneficial, really? Analytics, I'm sorry, is to me it's ruining baseball. It's absolutely ruining baseball. Because, like I said, this asshole at the plate right now, we're watching the Tiger game as we record this. Joey Gallo, batted 161. He's got 5 home runs. He's got 17 RBI. Yet, he's in the major leagues. Because, you know why? Because he has power.
Yep.
But he can't hit to save his fucking life, and he just struck out again.
So there are all but 5 teams have at least 501 strikeouts offensively.
Yeah.
All but 5.
Yeah. It's amazing.
So that's there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 teams over 625
Good Lord.
right now.
Now, is like launch angle and things like that the only reason? No. The pitching is guys are throwing it harder and with more movement than ever before.
So here's another thing to go along with the pitching, and I don't know why it is, so I'm not going to try and dissect it and tell you what it is, but it's a fact. There now is the biggest gap between pitching in the major leagues and the pitching that is in AAA.
Oh yeah.
And double. It's the biggest gap there's ever been in pitching. I mean, you take Torkelson, who couldn't hit the broadside of a barn in the majors.
And he's raking in AAA.
And he goes down in AAA and he's knocking the ball out of the park left and right. He's his batting average is like in the 300s. I mean, he is raking in AAA. Meanwhile, he couldn't hit the broadside of a barn in major leagues. And again, he couldn't. It wasn't just that he couldn't hit a slider or a curveball.
He could catch up with the fastball.
That dude couldn't catch a fastball down the plate.
Nope.
I mean, they were throwing beach ball fastballs down the center of the plate for him, and he couldn't catch up to it.
Yeah.
But he's fucking knocking the cover off the ball in AAA.
Yeah. Because they're, we'll
It's-
say, like 3-4 miles an hour slower
It's a huge gap.
and without the movement.
Yep. I mean, it's way worse than it's been in any recent memory of Major League Baseball.
And you just watch so many games, and you see just horrendous plate approaches and at bats. Like every game you watch, it's like, okay, like this analytic shit is, to me, like I said, it's ruining the game.
It's borderline ruined. it.
Yeah, it's getting to that point. It really is. It's a sad thing. It really is. Because again, you get these guys to try to swing up on everything, to try to hit everything in the air. So you get a pitch up in the zone. What's the guy going to do if he tries to swing up at it?
Did he just?
Oh, he tried to hold on to the ball because
Oh.
it was a walk anyway.
Gotcha.
But you get some dude trying to swing up on a ball on a pitch up in the zone. What's he going to do? A, he's either going to miss it, or B, he's going to pop it up.
Yep.
That's all he's going to do. That's it. And you get pitches away. Like, okay, that's fine. You got to pitch away. But if you're trying to swing up on it, what are you going to do? You're going to miss it, or you're going to hit it off the end of the bat. Like, instead of hitting it where the ball's pitched and just trying to put a good swing on it, you're not going to do anything with it. You're going to roll over. Like that was good what he just did.
Well, that was a good level swing, and
Yeah.
that's the way the game used to be played, man.
Yeah.
Like it was.
It was like see ball, hit ball. That's not how it is anymore.
No, and back in the day, players used to be able to, the good hitters, not even the great hitters, just the good hitters,
No.
could hit in every zone in the strike zone. Could hit a ball. They could push a ball out to right. They could hit in any direction, any angle. Like they could literally hit in whatever direction they wanted to, basically. Now you don't see that. You see everybody's pulling the ball.
Nope.
Nobody's hitting.
Or at least trying to pull it anyway.
Yeah, nobody's hitting for a direction. You know, nobody's hitting opposite field anymore, like at all,
right.
unless it's an accident.
Right. Oh, they're just like laid on a pitch.
I mean,
you know.
Miggy used to live off of hitting oppo.
Yeah, that's and see that was the thing with Torkelson coming up. Even when he was at Arizona State, that is what he did. He would always try to take the ball to right field, and now they were trying to make him a fucking pull hitter. That's not what he is.
Just let him go out there and swing, man.
That's not what he is. And you see it again just throughout Major League Baseball. They're trying to make these hitters something that they're not, and that's why you see.
Well, they come up through the system. They come all the way up, and if they're succeeding, why are you going to change that?
Right.
They obviously made it to where they are because they were succeeding doing what they were doing.
Like, if you see something you want to make a little tweak or something like that, fine. But if you're trying to change this person's entire stance and just plate approach, that to me it's too much. Like, it's like this guy's been doing this his whole life, and now you're just gonna change it? Like, okay, like I said, you want to make some tweaks here and there, fine. I don't know, maybe lower your hands a little bit or raise your hands a little bit, whatever. Maybe open your stance slightly, fine.
Yeah,
But when you're trying to change the whole fucking thing,
and if you're Javi Baez, just retire, go bag groceries or something. Speaking of which, he hit the DL today.
yeah, I saw that. Spine.
Yeah, he's on the DL because of a back injury.
No, it's not. It's not DL anymore. It's injured list.
Okay.
Gotta be PC, man. It's not disabled list anymore. You can't say that anymore.
Yes, it is.
I mean, my baseball.
Have you seen my baseball? No, Javi. Nobody's
I
seen
mean-
your baseball. You haven't even seen the baseball.
You have
That's why
not.
you can't hit it.
Yeah, exactly. So, however, do you know who can see baseballs?
Jason Stiltner from Flagstar Bank.
That's right. If you're a homeowner or looking to be a first-time home buyer, give Jason Stiltner, Senior Loan Officer at Flagstar Bank, a call today at 248-752-3631. Jason has great mortgage programs for first-time home buyers, including down payment assistance options and excellent interest rates.
Yeah.
Again, give my guy Jason Stiltner from Flagstar Bank a call today at 248-752-3631 and get the excellent service you deserve.
Yeah.
Flagstar Bank, equal housing lender, member FDIC, NMLS number 27546.
Let's go, Buffalo. Let's go, Buffalo. Let's go.
I love it. I love it. That's good stuff. All right, so we're going to get into a topic that I don't know if we've ever talked about, but we're going to do it because it's blasted all over just sports media and social media and whatnot. So I figure, you know what the hell?
I feel dirty already.
I do too, but I feel it's something that we need to discuss.
I needed to shower when I got home anyway. So
Fair enough. So, we did talk about this once. It was during the women's NCAA tournament, briefly, but we did. Anyways, it was like a foul call or something like that. That was kind of absurd, but anyways. So, there's a whole discourse going on with Caitlin Clark coming into the WNBA.
Who?
Exactly. Who? There's a whole discourse about her coming into the WNBA because she got a huge Nike deal, which, whatever, good for her. You got the bag. That's cool. I don't have a problem with that. But with her coming into the league, the players that she's going against seem to have an issue with her and seems to be showing some jealousy toward her, which I can certainly understand that from their point of view. It's like you've never played a game in the WNBA, and yet you're getting all this fanfare, and you're getting shoe deals and all these endorsement deals and shit like that. So I can see it from other players' point of view in the WNBA. I get it. However, the whole reason why anybody is even remotely paying attention to you and talking about your league, even us, is because of her.
Yeah.
So I get the frustration with it, but that's your meal ticket right now, guys. Like, she's literally the only reason why you guys are even remotely popular right now.
Pay that man his money.
Exactly.
her money.
Her money,
Sorry,
yes.
I can't change the drop.
No,
but,
you can't. Yeah, so you guys might want to be careful and say, stop taking cheap shots at her and whatnot. And it's like, okay, it's kind of like what Tiger did for golf, right? People wanted to be mad at Tiger. For what? Without Tiger Woods, golf is not even remotely where it is now.
Not even close.
Not even fucking close. Without Caitlin Clark, you guys are still flying commercial. And now you finally have chartered planes and shit.
Well, and every game Caitlin Clark is in,
People wanna watch it.
People want to watch it. They're tuning in.
Right.
They're going to the games in record numbers for the WNBA.
Which is only good news for you, which means your TV deals go up, which means your salaries go up.
The gates are up.
Yes.
I mean,
but
listen,
you guys want to
man,
be jealous fucks.
I get some of it, like you said. I understand it, but when it comes down to it, she's bringing eyes.
Yes.
She's bringing viewership.
Yeah.
You can hate it or love it. It is what it is. Financially speaking, it's better for the WNBA.
100%.
And if you're in the WNBA,
Yeah.
it's better for you.
And, like,
Period.
All over Twitter is like, oh, it's a travesty that they're taking cheap shots at her. I'm like, this is the best thing to happen to this fucking league because people are actually talking about it.
I wouldn't say
People are talking about it like they actually care.
that one where she got checked. That we see that all the time in all basketball. She's going to get a little bit of.
Of course she is.
She's going to get a little bit. She's going to get a little bit of hazing. She's a rookie.
Yes.
I don't think I've seen anything go over the line.
No.
Truthfully,
It's not like she got a Lambier clothesline going to the rack or something like
she
that.
didn't get elbowed in the
Right,
face.
like-
She got checked a little bit
Yeah.
and fell down. Let's reel
Yeah.
that in a notch, guys. She's a rookie who's getting hazed a little bit by the
Yes.
rest of the league. Is some of the hate misconstrued? Is some of the hate undeserved? Yeah, of course it is. But like you said, they're going to.
Of course.
They're going to be jealous over the fact that she's getting these things they haven't gotten. They've been there before her. Okay, eventually it will all pass. And I'll be honest with you, I'm looking at this realistically in my eyes. The thrill of Caitlin Clark will pass,
Oh, yeah, for sure.
and I think by the end of next season with WNBA, they'll be back to the regular crowds, regular viewership. Nobody really will really care about Caitlin Clark at that point. It's just not going to continue.
Right.
Yeah, it's history tells us it's not going to continue.
No.
People are not going to go out of their way to tune into the WNBA. The WNBA is a league that is paid for by the NBA. They're only around because the NBA supplements it and pays for it. And everyone wants to bitch and moan about women should get paid the same amount. Okay. The problem is they don't bring in the same crowds. They don't bring in the same viewership. They don't bring in the same money. It's a world of what have you done for me? You're worth what you bring in, right? If I go to work every day and I don't produce and I don't bring in money somehow for the company's not going to pay me.
No.
Right? Or I'm going to be worth what they deem I work, which could be a little bit of nothing. You have to prove your worth. And in sports, if the league is bringing in money, you're going to get paid money.
Yes.
If the league is bringing in money, your players association can fight for you and can get you more money because that money's coming in. If you're bringing in no money and another league is paying for your league to even stay alive,
Yep.
you're not going to make anything.
No, you're not.
Whether you're a man, woman, child, whatever, you're not going to make anything.
No. And with her coming into the league, which has obviously brought eyes,
It's brought more.
it's brought more to the women's game. Be thankful, if anything.
At least for the time it lasts.
At least for the time it lasts, yes. Instead of because what's happening when you see stuff like this, the cheap shots and all that shit, people are starting to tune out because they're like, "What the fuck is this nonsense? This is garbage. I don't want to watch this."
Right.
And that leads me to her being left off the U.S. women's basketball team, which
Who cares?
it's funny. Like listen to the clowns talk about this. They're like, "Oh, this is the worst thing. I can't believe they left her off the team." And I look at it two ways. One, from a marketing standpoint,
Yeah.
probably is.
From a financial marketing standpoint, it is a bad move.
That's a bad move. But from a player that deserves to be on the team, no, absolutely not. She shouldn't be on the team. Not even close. She has no business being on that team. If you just go based on merit,
Yep.
she has no business being on that team.
It would have been strictly for the financial aspect of it, of the fact that she brings
100%.
fans.
Absolutely.
But then again, somebody brought up a good point. I don't know who it was. It was a columnist that is big in the WNBA, and she writes columns all the time. And she said Caitlin Clark was left off the team, not specifically for, but this is probably one of the reasons, because the fans that would tune in to see Caitlin Clark would get upset and tune back out because she wouldn't play much.
They're like Swifties.
Well, and which is probably true. If she
it
did
is.
make the team, she probably wouldn't play much.
No.
other than maybe in blowouts,
Right.
because by all accounts, the women's team
They're
is
gonna
gonna
truck everybody.
is gonna dump truck the entire
They're going to truck everybody.
Olympics.
So she would play.
So she would have played in like garbage time maybe, or she would have gotten some but she wouldn't have been a star on the team. She wouldn't have gotten the star minutes.
Nope.
It just wouldn't have happened.
Nope.
You have to understand that. And them putting her on the team would have been just for financial reasons. And they
It's
weren't going to
literally
do
the
it.
only reason. That's it.
And they weren't going to do it.
No, and honestly, I give credit to USA Basketball for not doing it. Now, in saying that the reason because the fans would have been mad that she wasn't going to play, that to me is kind of soft. Let's just say, you know what, she doesn't deserve to be on this team. Like there's 12 players better than her that deserve to be on this team, and leave it at that. Instead of being soft and saying, "Oh, we didn't want to deal with fan backlash if she didn't play." Dude, that's to me that's garbage. Like it's soft. All you had to do is be like, "We're taking the 12 best players to Paris, and she's not one of them." Okay, end of story. But they obviously chose to go in a different direction or a different explanation, which that's their business. Do what you want. But I just find it soft. That's one of the reasons that was brought up as to why they didn't take her.
She would have been the Christian Laettner
Yeah, exactly.
of the women's basketball team. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, look up the 1992 look up the 1992 Dream Team.
They had to take him. They didn't have a choice.
They didn't have a choice, but he didn't really play much.
He did not.
And he was there.
He was there.
He was there.
he
was on a team.
Yes. He did not play.
That was it.
That was it. But they had to take him. They didn't have a choice. They had to.
But again, it's one of those situations where if Caitlin Clark had made the team, it basically would have been the exact same thing. She would have been the Christian Laettner of the and she wouldn't have played much. People would have been upset about her not playing. Now, nobody was really upset about Christian Laettner not playing back then, but because you had the monster lineup that was the Dream Team, right?
Yeah. Arguably the best team ever assembled.
Yes,
Arguably.
If not if not exactly without argument, the best team ever assembled. Because when you look at that, not to get off topic, but you look at that team, man, it reads like a who's who of fucking bad. Like I can't believe these players were all on the same fucking team to go to the Olympics. Magic Johnson, Charles Barkley, John Stockton, Karl Malone, Clyde Drexler, Scottie Pippen, Larry Bird, Patrick Ewing, David Robinson, Chris Mullin, and by the way, a guy named Michael Jordan. And yet Christian Laettner was on that team.
Oh, and they left Isaiah Thomas off of it.
And they left Isaiah Thomas off the team.
Yep.
So it's, you look at that, not to get off topic, but you look at that and you're like, yeah, okay. I mean, Christian Laettner was there. This would have probably been one of those things. It's not the Dream Team, don't get me wrong, but also they're seasoned athletes who have been playing the game. She wouldn't have played much. I think this is all for nothing, honestly. It's just a big to-do about nothing. Truthfully.
It really is, but people, of course, they want to be, hot takes and all that shit.
Oh, yeah.
And get all up in arms and faux outraged about it. It's like, no.
That's exactly what it is, too. Faux outrage.
Like, just look at it for what it is. I get the marketing aspect of it. I really do. Because just like we talked about with the WNBA itself, like she's going to bring more eyeballs to the league, which in turn is going to make more money for the league and more notoriety for women's sports. But if you look at it just purely on merit, she did not deserve to be on the team. She just didn't. And I wish that's what I wish USA Basketball had just come out and said. Like, she is not one of the 12 best players to be on this team. She just isn't. End.
Period.
Like, leave it at that. Now, we talked about arguably the greatest teams ever assembled, right? And you said the Dream Team, which, I mean, there's no debate there. It's definitely in the conversation. I think another one you could put up there is the 87 Canada Cup team, Team Canada. I mean, here's this roster. Glenn Anderson, Hall of Famer. Ray Bork, Paul Coffey, Doug Crossman, Kevin Dineen, Grant Fuhr, Mike Gartner, Doug Gilmore, Michelle Goulet. Oh, some guy named Gretzky I've never heard of. Craig Hartsburg, Dale Howardchuk, Ron Hextall, Kelly Rudy, Claude Lemieux, Mario Lemieux.
How do you pronounce that name? What was it?
Gretzky?
Gretzky?
Yes.
Gretzky? Okay.
Mario Lemieux. Mark Messier, Larry Murphy, James Patrick, Brian Propp,
Mario Lemieux.
Norman Rochefort. I'm not sure who that is. Brent Sutter and Rick Tocchet. Like, that team straight up loaded, bro. Straight up loaded. So, again, we can go for days about, like, the greatest teams ever assembled. And that's always a fun conversation to have. Or maybe later in our next episode we
might be able to dive down that road.
Dive down that road a little bit, go down that rabbit hole. But like I said,
dive down the rabbit hole, drive down the road. Yeah,
whatever.
Dive
something like that.
We might be able to dive down the road. Whatever, man. I made up a new saying.
And speaking of that, they did come out with the schedule for the Four Nations Face-Off in February, which I'm very excited about. Have games in Montreal and Boston, and I think the championship game's in Boston, so that'd be cool. I think the USA Canada game, the like round robin game or whatever, is in February, right? Yeah, did I got that right? February 15th in Montreal. Of course, it's Saturday night, so yeah, let's go. I'm so excited to have best on best again. I'm so excited about it. I know Dennis was kind of on the fence about it, but I'm just happy to have it back. Like, it sucks that it's only 4 teams. It does. Yeah. With the USA, Canada, the Finns, and the Swedes.
Yeah.
Should have had the Czechs? Yeah, because they just won the freaking World Championship. So yeah, they should have the Czechs in it. And should it have the Russians? Yeah, it should have the fucking Russians. Like, I don't care what your politics are. The Russians should be there. They should be. I think it's a joke that they're not. But I digress on that.
You know who's not a joke?
The Joe Wright Group. Yeah, buddy. Whether you're buying or selling your home, now is the time to take advantage of having the expertise of 3 real estate agents for the price of 1 on your side. Make the right move with the right group, the Joe Wright Group. Give Craig Joe Wright, Mike Bush, and Shane Wilson a call today at 248-535-4750 to fulfill all of your real estate needs.
No, I sound drunk.
Sorry, I had to do that.
Bastard.
I had to do it.
Bastard.
So, with OTA starting in the NFL.
They are.
They are starting, and Aaron Rodgers just said, fuck it, I'm not going to go because I have something that's important to me that I want to go do. And apparently he told Robert Saleh this, and he was like, well, it's an unexcused absence, even though you told me about it, but so he's going to get fined or whatever.
Like he cares.
Which just to me, like, I get it's Aaron Rodgers, I understand that, but if you're another player on that team, like, how can you look at Robert Saleh with any respect after that? Like, for real. Was he like, okay, really?
Right.
You just say, yeah, it's fine? You know? Okay. That's we always talk about, like, coaches on the hot seat. I believe he is firmly on the hot seat, and wouldn't surprise me if he's the first one fired. But
yeah, I mean, he's definitely one of the ones on the hot seat. I wouldn't be so inclined to say he'd be the first one gone, but he's for sure on the hot seat.
Yes, he is. Well, with that being said, we found a list here of teams and their over-unders for wins in the upcoming season, and I think it's a pretty interesting list. I mean, we got some time to kill before the NFL season starts, so we may as well dive in. You know, we'll start off. This all goes in alphabetical order, so we're not doing it by division or anything like that. So this has the Arizona Cardinals at 6.5. Now, what are you taking? Are you taking the over or under on that?
I'm going to take the under on that one. I think the Cardinals are a shit show. I don't foresee them being much better. I mean, I don't think Marvin Harrison Jr. adds that much to the mix to make them that much better of a team. I just don't. I think they're a dumpster fire. Kyler Murray is not the guy when it comes to being able to carry a team.
There's not a Call of Duty coming out this year, is there?
I think there's a Call of Duty every year. So, no, I'm going to go under on 6.5 wins.
Okay. I'm going to go over, but slightly. I think they get to 7. And that's it. So, I'm going to go over on this. If for no other reason, then why not? It's the NFL, you know?
Yeah.
There's no rhyme or reason to it. It's the NFL. The NFL, again, if it's trending in the direction as last season did with just a shit product, then yeah, absolutely, they can win 7 games. Are you kidding me? But we'll see how that works out. Atlanta Falcons, 9.5. I'm going over on that one.
Over.
Yeah, I'm definitely going over on that one.
Over.
Big
I
time.
have them at a 12-5 record.
As does this list. They also have them at 12-5, which I could absolutely see that happening. And like we said, once they sign Uncle Kurt, yeah, they're probably going to win that division.
Yep.
And I think 12 wins is going to get it done. So I'm with you 100%. I'll also take the over at 9.5. So going to the Baltimore Ravens, they have Baltimore at 11.5. I'm going to go under.
I'm going to go slightly under.
Yeah.
I think they get 11 wins. And I'm going to go slightly under because
It's going to be a good division, man.
It's a tough division.
Yep. That's why I'm going under.
They've got to play Cincinnati twice. They've got to play Cleveland twice. They've got to play Pittsburgh twice.
That has the chance to be the best division in football.
It does. And actually, after we get done with this list, we have CBS ranked the NFL division rankings
nice.
post NFL draft
Oh, yeah.
and free agency.
I like it.
And they rank the power rankings for each division. So we'll go over that one
Sweet.
after this. But yeah,
I dig it. Yes, I'm going under just because of the toughness of that division. And like I said, I think it's arguably the best division in football. So we'll see once we get to that other list if that proves accurate. Buffalo Bills, 10.5. I'm going under.
I'm going to go under slightly again. I think they'll get 10 wins.
I see that. And like I said, even when they took Machete to the roster, and we talked about this kind of, I think we had a show that day that they did that. And I said, I don't know if they're going to win the division, but I think they will absolutely be in there for a wild card spot.
Now, I also wouldn't be surprised to see them completely fall on their faces.
And I hate to say this.
With that being said, I still think they'll get 10 wins. When I sit back and look, and I was pretty critical of saying they were going to have a good season this year because of all the chopping they did. With that said, after I gave it a good look, after draft, free agency, I was like, okay, they can still be competitive. But if they did come out and fall on their faces, I wouldn't be surprised. And like you and I talked about, Chris, he would be the coach to get let go first.
Yeah. Which, again, I'm not the biggest Sean McDermott fan in the world. And I really wouldn't lose any sleep if they said, okay, it's been real. Bye. Next up, we have the Carolina Panthers.
Under.
I'm going under. 4.5. Under.
Under.
Oh,
you could have told me 1.5, but I said under. Under.
What an absolute dumpster fire of a franchise.
Under. That franchise sucks.
So bad.
They're so fucking bad.
And the funny thing is, they've been to 2 Super Bowls. And it's still a dumpster fire franchise.
They're not close to those teams that went to the Super Bowl, I'll tell you that.
No.
They're so far removed from that. Again, you could have told me 1.5 was the over-under. I just said under.
Next up, we have the Chicago Bears at 8.5.
Under.
I'm going to go under, too. I really am.
I think people are putting too much on Caleb Williams, saying that he's going to be good.
Yeah.
Do I like what Chicago did other than that in other areas? I do. Do I think they totally fucking screwed up with drafting Caleb Williams instead of trading that pick and keeping Justin Fields? I absolutely fucking do. I think you take a step back at quarterback because Justin Fields, although he didn't progress maybe how everybody wanted to, he was progressing. He had been in the league for 3 years. Caleb Williams is a rookie stepping in that has question marks about his commitment to football.
God,
his commitment to winning. I'm sorry, that doesn't spell for a team that's going to win anything.
It doesn't, and especially if you had Justin Fields still and you give him Keenan Allen, DJ Moore, and Rome Odunze,
Mm-hmm.
and you're going to have a solid defense.
Well, and you add 2 more picks to that because they trade that Caleb
Right.
Williams pick for 2 more picks in the fucking draft that they could have addressed on defense.
It's just again, this is why we always say it. This is why bad franchises stay bad.
So you'd rather have Caleb Williams than Justin Fields and 2 other top players. Really? Really? Okay. You do you, boo-boo.
Next up, the Cincinnati Bengals at 10.5.
Under. Tough division.
Again, like we talked about with Baltimore. I honestly, for all these teams in the AFC North, I'm going under.
Under.
I
Tough division.
take that back. Not all of them, because next up we have the
I'm
Browns.
I'm going to go over.
I'm going to go over as well.
So
I think they're all going to be around that 9 to 10 win range.
I think this is a little bit disrespectful because
The defense going to be a monster again.
the Cleveland Browns have every bit of team as Cincinnati and as Baltimore. Okay?
And they just re-signed your boy to a new contract extension. Stefanski.
Oh, yeah. Not my boy. It's a little disrespectful. I can look at this and say the Cleveland Browns do have the toughest schedule to play this year.
I remember you saying that, yeah.
If you look up win percentage, strength of schedule, they have the toughest schedule out of any other team in the league. Part of that is because they play in this division.
Like, I look at this win total over-under, and this is, to me, severely dependent upon Deshaun Watson.
Well, you're saying Cincinnati's at 10-5, playing in the same division.
Yeah.
And Cleveland is only 8-5. Why? Because they have a tougher schedule. I think it's a little disrespectful.
I think it's quarterback. I think that's all it comes down to.
Which I would be okay with because I have had these questions since when was that, Chris? When did I have when did I say?
Since the deal was made.
Oh, since the day the trade was made. Yeah, since the day the trade was made.
But to me, that's why though. That's why they have this is quarterback. That's it.
I still think it's completely disrespectful because they had Deshaun Watson and the ghost of Joe Flacco last year with that defense.
Yeah.
And still made it to the playoffs.
Yes, they did.
So to me, it's a little bit disrespectful. Tough division. They have the toughest schedule in the league, but still, man, you got 10-5 and 11-5. So Cincinnati's at 10-5 record. Baltimore's at an 11-5 record. Cleveland's at an 8-5 record. Get the fuck out of here, man. That's to me that's disrespectful. But you know, whatever. It could be exactly what you're saying. It could be the Deshaun Watson factor.
I think that's it. I think it's the only factor.
It could be that factored in with the fact they do have the toughest schedule. Maybe they're playing both of those. I don't know, but
all right. Next up, we have the Dallas Cowboys, 10.5.
I think it's exactly right. I think they're going to get 10.5 wins. And Mike McCarthy is the only coach in NFL history that can actually get a half a win.
I'm going to say under, but slightly. I think they'll get to 10.
I'm going to go with you on that one. They're going to probably have 10 wins. They're going to be a 10-7 team. They're going to disappoint a little bit in the regular season. They're going to disappoint as soon as they make it to the playoffs. And Mike McCarthy is once again going to be in question to be fired because the guy fucking sucks.
But this is year that we're going all in, according to Jera.
Yeah, they're always all in, right?
Yeah, Jera, we're going all in this year. You guys
Jones,
literally haven't done anything.
They've done nothing.
Like you re-signed like the corpse of Ezekiel Elliott. Like that's like all you've done. But okay, you talk your shit, Jera. Next up, we have the Denver Broncos at 5.5, 100% under.
Under.
Yep.
Absolutely under.
When your quarterback room is Bo Nix and Jarrett Stidham, under. That's it. When your best player is a cornerback, under.
Under.
Next up, we have the Detroit Lions at 10.5. I'm going to go over.
Over. I'm going to go slightly over. I think they get to 11 wins. Now, if you ask Detroit Lions fan, they're at least 14, 15 wins, if not undefeated.
Oh, yeah.
Has that very quickly become the most insufferable fan base?
You knew it was
on
going
the planet?
to. You knew it was going to.
I mean, very quickly.
You knew it was going to. It's like when Michigan State football got good.
Oh, God, yeah, it was bad.
It was just like, and they became obnoxious.
Yeah.
It's like, congratulations. You guys have been good for like 5 minutes.
The funny thing is I've been seeing a lot more national stuff about the Detroit Lions fans now. So it's not just you and me talking shit about them locally. Like, I've seen a lot more national stuff about how Lions fans, like, they've been good for 1 minute.
Yeah.
And they're like fucking popping champagne bottles and like, you know. planning parades.
Let's see if you can, repeat what you did last year. And again, I think they'll compete for the division, and obviously it wouldn't surprise me if they won it again.
No, I agree.
And granted, you have a significantly tougher schedule this year. So, I mean, we'll see what happens with that. So, these fans that are, like you said, popping champagne bottles and, talking their shit. I get why you're talking your shit. You haven't been good. You finally let it all out. Okay, I understand it. But now maybe reel it back in a little bit, It's like, just let the season play out and see where we go from there. Like, you do it again this year? All right, fine, talk your shit. Do anything you want. Talk your shit. That I have no problem with it. But you do it for, like, literally one season?
Yeah.
And you're gonna talk your shit and puff your chest out? Okay.
Yeah, it's insufferable at this point. But I mean, in all honesty, they do have a loaded roster.
No, they're going to be good. There's no
they're
doubting
going
that.
They're going to be very, very good. I think their one downfall might be the fact they're relying on Jamison Williams again to be a significant contributor on that offense, and I just don't think it'll ever happen from what I've seen. But stranger things have happened.
If he takes it serious, I think he can do that. But that's the thing. Can he take it serious? We'll see. Next up, we got the Green Bay Packers at 10.5.
Over.
I'm going to go over as well. I think that's going to be a dogfight to the end with them and the Lions in that division.
I do too. In all honesty, I believe Green Bay actually will win this division. And I know Lions fans going to kick me in the nuts for it and be all up. Oh, how are they going to be better than the Lions? Lions are way better than them. Okay, look at what Jordan Love did second half of last year and in the playoffs, and you tell me whether.
Look what he did to your team on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I mean and of course Lions fans are like, well, did you see that ending of the game pick against San Francisco in the playoffs? Yeah. Did you see the first three and a half quarters before that?
Yeah, right.
3 3/4 quarters before that? The guy was destroying them. The guy was playing out of his fucking mind against Dallas in the playoffs, against San Francisco in the playoffs. Yeah, they're going to be tough as hell.
It's going to be a good team. It's gonna, like I said, it's going to be a dogfight to the end in that division. It's going to be great. See, he should have let that ball.
Eric joining in. He says Love looked stupid good the second half last year, and he did. He did. He actually looked like they might have gotten it right a third time in a row in Green Bay.
We'll see.
So,
next up, we have the Houston Texans at 9.5. Over. Big time.
Over. I love them this year.
Yep.
Absolutely love them this
year.
year.
Two teams that I'm very excited to watch this year.
Let me guess. Atlanta?
Yep.
Houston?
Yep.
Yeah. Same.
Those
Same.
teams are going to be.
I'm pumped to watch those games.
Yeah.
I just want to see them play.
Do they play each other this year?
I don't know.
I don't either.
I have to look that up.
I have to look that up.
Stack Girl?
Yes. This is where we need Stat Girl. Next up, we have the Colts at 8.5. I'm going over. I'm absolutely going over on this one. If again, kind of like with the Browns, this is kind of dependent upon their quarterback staying healthy.
Yep.
And being what the flashes that he showed last year before he got hurt.
I'm going to go over as well. I think Jonathan Taylor has a bounce back year. He was injured a lot last year as well. I think Anthony Richardson has a very good year as long as he can stay healthy. I will go over on this one as well, over 8.5.
Yeah. Next up, we have the Jacksonville Jaguars at 8.5.
Under.
I'm absolutely going under on this one.
That team is very underwhelming to me.
Very, and like we talked about with Trevor Lawrence. Again, I think he reached his peak 2 years ago.
I think he did.
I don't think he's going to get any better than that. I really don't. And we talked about him trying to take that next level, get to that next step. I don't think there is another step for him. I really don't. So yeah, I see the under on this one big time. Chiefs 11.5.
Over.
Yeah, in that division, yeah, I'll go over on that one. I can see 12, maybe possibly 13.
I could even see 14.
Fair.
I could see them losing 3 games this year.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're just stupid good, bro. Their defense is good now too. You don't forget that. You know what I mean? Like, they drafted another couple weapons. If Rashee Rice can stay out of fucking trouble, he'd be all right.
Right.
But yeah, I'm gonna go over on 11.5 with them for sure.
All right. Yeah, I'm gonna go over. I'm not quite sure to that degree, but I think they'll be over 11.5 for sure. Raiders 6.5. I'll go over on that one. I think
Over slightly.
I'll go like 8. I can see 8.
I think it might be really slightly over.
Like
I think
7?
it might be 7.
Okay.
But yeah.
I'll give him 8. Just because Frank's our boy, I'll give him 8.
Okay.
Next up, we got the LA Chargers at 8.5.
Under.
I'm gonna go slightly over. I'll give him 9. It's obviously gonna be a work in progress with khaki pants coming in. So
Well, and that's why I'm going under. I just don't see that team being ultra competitive. They gutted the roster.
they did, but I think he's gonna use Herbert the proper way. I really do, and I think that defense is gonna be better than it was under fucking dumb fuck.
Can't be worse.
That's my point. That's why I think they'll get to over 8.5 wins. I can see 9. I'll stick with 9. Leave it at that. 9. The Rams at 8.5.
Over.
I'm gonna go over too. Like Sean McVay's a really good fucking coach.
Yep.
He really is. And the corpse of Matthew Stafford is still pretty fucking good.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I'm gonna go over on that one for sure. And if Nakua and Cup, especially if Cup can stay healthy this year, and do what Nakua did last year, if he can repeat that,
Yep.
the Rams are going to be a problem. Dolphins 9.5.
Over.
I'm going to go under. I'm going 9. There's something just about that team I don't like.
The fact they don't play defense?
Well, that's something, but it's something non-specific that I can't put my finger on that I just don't like about that team. I don't know what
Tua.
it is. Maybe. I mean, I don't know.
It's the left-handed Tua. You don't like left-handed quarterbacks.
I am left-handed. So why would I like left-handed quarterbacks?
I don't know. I'm just trying to figure it out, man.
I don't know what
you
it
said
is.
There's something. I'm trying to figure out what it is.
I have no idea.
Is it because they have a black quarterback?
Maybe the excuses they make when they have to play in cold weather. I don't know.
I mean, none of us want to play anything in cold weather.
I understand
right?
that, but like you don't hear the teams bitching about when they have to go to Miami when it's 105 fucking degrees outside, bitching about that, and they have to like where the road team sideline is right in the fucking sun during the game.
Mm-hmm.
But no, bitch more about how you guys have to go up to Buffalo in New England and shit like that during the middle of winter. Boo fucking who? Maybe that's it. I think that is it.
I think we might have hit it.
I think you found it.
Yeah, you're definitely upset about it. You're definitely upset about it.
Next up, we have the Minnesota Vikings at 6.5. I'm going under that.
Under as well.
Yep.
I think I'm gonna go probably 4 wins, maybe 5.
Yeah, I can kind of see it in that range for sure. Next up, we have the New England Patriots at 4.5. I'm gonna go over. It's simply because I like Gerard Mayo as a head coach.
I'm gonna go just under.
Okay.
4.5. Speaking of just under 4.5, Steve Waddell from Baldman Entertainment. we what the hell just happened here? I just.
You got a tiny little wiener. What I'm saying, you got to play that drop. That's fucking perfect.
I knew I had to get the read in at some point. I was like, fuck it.
That's fantastic. Well done.
Okay, again, speaking of slightly under 4.5, we all know
God.
planning an event such as a wedding, birthday party, graduation party, or any other event that might require a DJ can be very hairy. Eliminate the stress and give Steve Waddell at Baldman Entertainment a call today at 586-747-5402. He is the resident DJ for St. Hubert's Festival every year. If he's good enough for God, then he's good enough for you. Again, that's Baldman Entertainment, 586-747-5402. The best decision you can make for a smooth event.
That's great. Well done. Where's that drop when you need it?
I'm trying. I can't. I'm laughing so hard. I'm crying over
my
here,
God.
and I can't even find the drop.
So after that outstanding read, we continue.
You got a little wiener and some tiny nuts.
There you go. Nicely done.
Steve, sorry, brother. I love you. I had to get the read in, man.
I think it was perfectly done. Nice work. So we move on. We move on to the New Orleans Saints at 7.5. I'm going under. Derek Carr's their quarterback, man.
I agree, under.
Like, Derek Carr is their quarterback. I'm sorry. And, at some point, what's his nuts? Their running back. Kamara's not going to play. He's going to get hurt or do something stupid and get
Or
arrested
do something stupid, get suspended.
So, I'm going to go under on that one.
I am going to go slightly over.
Really?
Yeah, I think they'll get to 8 wins. I think the defense is good enough. I think they'll do enough on offense to just stay relevant and just kind of like, bleh, kind of meh. They're just meh.
They're mid.
They're meh. They're not even mid. They're just meh.
All right.
Yeah, because, 8 wins in a 17-game season is really not good.
No.
It's just
there.
Meh.
Yeah, it's there.
It's there.
Yeah.
You're there. You play football.
Yep.
You've taken the field.
Next up, New York Giants, 6.5.
Under.
100% under. Like, I'm thinking like 3 or 4.
Yeah, I would probably go 4. I think they're lucky to hit 5.
Yeah, I'm gonna go 3 or 4 with that one. New York Jets, 9.5.
Slightly over. I think they get to 10.
I'm gonna go under.
And let me stipulate. If Aaron Rodgers plays all season, doesn't get hurt again, I think their season really, truly relies on Aaron Rodgers. I really, truly believe that. I think they have a good enough defense.
Yeah.
I think they have a good enough run game. It's going to rely on Aaron Rodgers, who is turning 41 in December.
I'm going to go under, and I believe because he will get hurt again this year.
Which he very well could.
And I honestly, you kind of see this past offseason, I don't think he cares about football anymore. I don't.
And that's a good question. That's a solid question.
It's
It's a legit question to ask at this point.
It looks like he's just kind of like lost interest. He's like, so much other shit going on now that I don't know.
He might be vice president. We don't know.
I've heard that. Yes. Eagles 10.5. I'll go over on that.
Over. Yeah, I'm over on this one. They retooled the secondary,
which was necessary.
One of my favorite rookies in many, many years, Quinyon Mitchell. Then they have Cooper DeJean.
Yep.
They got C.J. Gardner-Johnson back from Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
I believe they got Saquon Barkley.
That's huge. If he can stay healthy,
yeah,
that's huge.
So, yeah, I think over in that one. I think they're going to bounce back. If they don't, Nick Sirianni is on the hot seat for sure.
I don't think he's hot seat. I think he gets fired.
Yeah.
Yeah. He almost got fired after last season. Next up, Pittsburgh Steelers, 8.5. Again, kind of like we talked about with the rest of this division. I think they're all going to be in that 9 to 11 range.
I think they're going to, I'm going to go slightly over. I think they're the worst team in the division.
I do. Yes, I agree.
Especially with Russell Wilson starting the season for him.
Yep.
Justin Fields is their insurance policy. Yeah, I'll go slightly over with like 9 wins. I think they are the worst out of the 4 in that division, though.
Yep. Niners, 11.5.
Man, that's right there of where I have them. I'm going to go over again slightly. I think they'll make it to 12 probably.
I'm going to go under.
They're one of the better teams in the NFC, honestly.
I'm going to go slightly under because of the Madden curse. Because CMC's on the cover of Madden this coming year.
25, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm going to go like slightly under. I'm going to go 10. It's like, okay, 10. Sea Chickens, 7.5.
Under.
I'm going to go slightly over because I think that defense is actually going to be pretty good. Mike McDonald knows what the fuck he's doing.
Ronald McDonald
knows what the fuck he's doing defensively. So I think I think they'll get to 8. Possibly 9, but 8 I'm going to go with for sure.
I think they undercut this by a half a game. I think they get 7 wins.
Okay. Bucks 8.5.
Over. I'm going to go with 10 wins for them.
Wow. Okay. I'll go over. I'm only going to go to 9, but I'll go the over on that one for sure. I'm with you. Again, not to that degree, but I think they're going to go over. Tennessee Titans 6.5. Under.
Yeah, I don't see them hitting over six wins, so I'm going to go under too. I think it's going to be tough for them to get 6 wins.
Redskins 6.5.
Under.
I'm going to go under as well. I don't know what the team's doing.
Neither do they.
I don't know what that team is doing. I look at them and I was like, okay, you're just there. They're kind of like the Panthers. You're like there.
Yep.
Okay.
They're not. Yeah.
And that is the list for that particular topic.
That was a good exercise.
I thought so.
So NFL divisional rankings.
Yes.
CBS put out their divisional rankings post NFL draft and free agency.
Mm-hmm.
And just take it. We'll just play a little game here. Take a guess as to what division was ranked dead last.
They have.
It's not the division I would have ranked dead last, but they ranked this division dead last.
It's not the NFC South, is it?
It is.
Okay.
NFC South, I would not have ranked them dead last. Honestly, the division I would have ranked dead last is the one they ranked 7th, which is the AFC West. So for people out there knowing NFC South, they ranked dead last, which is Tampa Bay, New Orleans, Atlanta, and Carolina. Carolina severely brings down that division. I think Tampa Bay and Atlanta are going to be really good teams this year, and New Orleans is a meh team, right?
Yeah.
To me, that's better than Kansas City, a really great team, and then a meh with the Raiders, with the Broncos, and then a meh with the Chargers. I truly think that would have been the worst division in my opinion. Number 6, what do you think it is?
The 6th worst division?
Yeah.
NFC East.
You are 100% correct. Dallas, Philadelphia, New York, and Washington. You have 2 front runners in Dallas and Philadelphia, and you have 2 rear enders, cabooses in the Giants and Washington.
That'll significantly drag down your division.
Yeah.
Yep.
Next, number 5.
NFC West.
100%. San Francisco, L.A., Seattle, and Arizona pulling up the rear.
Again.
Getting rear-ended.
This is like if this was college football, like they wouldn't get in the playoffs.
Nope.
Because your strength of schedule is terrible.
Your strength of schedule sucks. All right, number 4.
AFC East.
You are correct on this one. Are you cheating? You have it pulled up over there?
Oh, yeah.
Do you really?
Yeah.
You're such a douche. You're such a dickhead. I was impressed, though. I was like, holy shit, dude. Wow, nice. You motherfucker. At least you admit it, though.
Yeah.
Buffalo, Miami, the Jets, and New England. And again, I think New England.
New England.
New England severely drags down that division.
Yeah.
And then the question mark behind the Jets is what they're going to do with Aaron Rodgers and if he gets hurt. Very questionable there. Next up, I'm not going to have you guess because you fucking know, is the AFC South. It's Houston, Jacksonville, Indianapolis, and Tennessee. And I know the pundits think Tennessee's going to be a better team than we do.
I think this division should be below.
I think this division should be below both
the
AFC East and NFC West, honestly.
Agreed.
I think the NFC West should be above this one.
Yeah.
Even possibly the NFC East because they have 2 solid fucking teams, whereas this division, they have the Texans, but then Jacksonville, Indianapolis, and Tennessee are all question marks. We really don't know. I mean, all right, so the top 2 divisions, NFC North is the first.
See, again, I
mean, is the second. I'm sorry, the second.
I think that should be lower too.
I think it should because again, I think
you have two.
I don't
really
know
good
why
teams.
they're number two. The number two division because it's Detroit and Green Bay. Minnesota isn't going to be worth a shit, and neither is Chicago in my mind. And I know again the pundits have Chicago being better than what we do. But with that being said, I don't know how they're going to be that much better. I would have AFC East ranked above that division. I would have the NFC West ranked above that division, or at least right with it. You know what I mean?
Right.
To me, the NFC East is almost similar to the NFC North with Detroit, Green Bay, and then Dallas, Philly.
Yeah.
And then you have the Giants in Washington, which equal Minnesota and Chicago. Same division, but yet the NFC East is ranked 6th.
I don't quite
and the NFC
understand that.
North is ranked 2nd.
Yeah, I don't understand that.
Now, the number one division is obvious. It's the AFC North.
And we've been talking about
It's
it.
Baltimore, Cleveland, Pittsburgh, and Cincinnati. That's by far the best division in football right now, and I believe this next year it's gonna be proven. Those teams are just gonna kick the shit out of each other.
Mm-hmm. I think it's gonna be great. I can't wait. But then again, we've said that about numerous divisions over the years, and it's never, been like that. You know?
Right.
Like that. There was one. The AFC West was supposed to be like that, and it wasn't.
Yep.
There's a couple other, other divisions that we've talked about like that. So I hope this one actually rings true, and I hope they actually lives up to the billing. So that would be ideal.
Yeah.
We shall see. Looking forward to it. Until we get, like every week, until we get bitching about hip drop tackles that are called and not called.
Yeah.
Which is going to be an absolute disaster. I still think it's going to be an absolute disaster. But
Oh, it absolutely is going to be.
we shall see.
Anything else for the listeners?
No.
All right. Then in that case, give us a like, a share, and a follow on our social media like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, and YouTube. You can find all of our podcasts on your favorite podcast provider. As always, check out SOTDET.com. Click on Shop, support us. We would appreciate it. SOTDET.com. I want to say rest in peace to a good man who passed away this last week. The owner of Art and Jake's, one of the best bosses I ever had, Victor, 54 years old.
Oh.
Victor, rest in peace.
Shit. Yeah, rest in peace, man.
And on behalf of the show, rest in peace, and you will be missed. On behalf of Chris,
Yeah.
and myself and Frank, who is, I don't know, somewhere.
Is he sleeping?
He might be.
Yeah.
We are Sports on Tap Detroit. See you next Tuesday.
And that is it for us today.
No! God, please, no!
Bye. Have a great time.
No! God!
Bye, guys.
No, 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 no!
Bye, buddy.
No!
Goodbye.
No!
Goodbye.
No!
It's never goodbye.
You know, we've been through our ups and been through our downs.
You were meant to be here tonight.
You guys will always be in my heart.
Great moments are born from great opportunity.
I think the most important part is that we all stay together throughout.
Don't give up. Don't ever give up.
Live. Fight like hell. The best thing I have ever done, the best thing I will ever do, is be a dad.
God, I love you guys. Mamba out.